Welcome, Sagittarius and Sagittarius cross-watchers, to your reading for this week. So hope you guys have had a great week. We have the Judgment card here. Sag, I'm kind of getting this feeling of almost like melancholy. It feels like not necessarily that things are boring. Doesn't quite feel like that's the right word. It feels like you may have a lot going on. There's a lot of things happening, but it still feels empty. Like this same old, same old. It's almost like you may be feeling kind of disconnected from everything around you. It almost feels like you may feel like your inner world is maybe for some of you, not for all of you, but for some of you, you could feel like what's really going on with you. You feel like you're not able to share that with anybody. You don't really connect to anyone right now. It's this like, not to downplay it or anything, but almost like the cheese stands alone, if you will. And I feel like you know, or at least are able to recognize that this is, it's like you know that this is a temporary or at least necessary stage right now. You're just not very, it's either like it's taking longer than you thought, or it's very lackluster, if you will. Okay, so what is Sag not seeing? Oh, what are you not seeing? We have the Ten of Swords and the Devil. So here's the thing, Sag. You may be feeling like, how the cards were just talking about. I won't reiterate everything. But I actually feel like it's almost like you're avoiding a lot of BS that I feel was ready to come your way, but it's almost like whatever BS was going to show up at your door, whoever was going to come and lay, nonsense at your feet to deal with. It's like they walked right up to you and you didn't even see them. And it, maybe you did see them or not, but it's like they saw in your eye that you weren't the same person anymore, and they realized that like it's over. Whatever they thought they were going to bring back, whatever was coming your way that was, about to turn things on their head, it's almost like they realized that whatever connection was there, whatever they thought was going to be their in is not. It's almost like somebody knows that they've been either like they went too far or they've been gone for too long, and you've completely disconnected from them. Right? It's like if they were to call your phone, like maybe you're in a coffee shop and they see you and they call your phone and they expect you to have some reaction when you see it, and you look down and you see it and you're like, meh, let me go back to eating this sandwich here. Because there's not a good reaction. There's not a bad reaction. It's not there. And I feel like somebody kind of thought that they were going to come back and get, kind of this, they were going to kind of feed off you a little bit. And, you're not open for business. Oh. So maybe I think the message there is like, yes, maybe this is a bit lackluster, but whatever you've done recently to kind of ascend or take yourself to the next level, you haven't just taken yourself to the next level, you also have taken yourself out of the level where, this one can get you, or people like this, right? Because you just don't respond anymore. I feel like from what I'm seeing, okay, you may feel like you're at the beginning and that you're not doing much, that might be, it's almost like you may be at a place where you feel like you have relinquished a lot of control, and that makes you feel, it's almost like there's some, feels like there isn't much exciting going on. It's almost like you may be feeling, that you're not doing this or you're not doing that. And it's not the like FOMO that Saggies usually get painted with. I'm a Sag, and people assume that all the time. That's not really what it feels like. It feels more that you may have been regretful at one time that you didn't make different decisions, but it's like you seem to be a little bit past that, in that you have like forgiven yourself of it. So like there isn't even any emotional charge around that either. It might be one of those things where it's like, if ever you've seen that meme, if you have been used to a life that was chaotic, or there was a lot of upheaval, but there was always something like to be attained, and you were always kind of climbing these mountains. And I feel like you might just be in an open meadow for a little while, for a season, if you will. And that may be something that is unfamiliar to you, but I feel like it's because you put the work in. It's because you you climbed all those friggin' mountains. Now you're Julie Andrews in The Sound of Music in the field, right? It feels like I feel like that what you are experiencing now is exactly what you've worked for. It just wasn't as fulfilling as you imagined it would be. And it's like, you're not unhappy, and it's not that you're not fulfilled necessarily. It's just like the intensity that used to be exhausting is gone. Okay, what's going on in the background here? We have the Three of Pentacles. I feel, this is what I'm seeing, okay? From what I see, I feel like you are missing, you may miss feeling like you had something to offer. It's almost like there's a certain amount of innocence that you may have lost recently, and that doesn't mean that it's, necessarily a negative thing. It just means like there are some things that you realized recently that it was a lot easier to live in a world where you didn't know those things. And I feel like it almost feels like letting go of a part of yourself, like a necessary growth process, but it doesn't feel good all the same. It's almost like, I might be aging myself here, but for those of you that had, the VHS collection of Snow White and those sorts of things, and it's almost like, and you're never going to watch them. There isn't even anything that you can watch them on. But giving them away there's this like forlorn sort of nostalgic feeling of missing the time when you would have watched them. It's that type of an energy. And I feel like there's this message here that just because you have passed this threshold of wherever you're at and have moved into this space, there's a message that, that doesn't mean that you won't be in, like, you're not going to make any more good memories. It just feels like you've lost something that you can't quite get back. And as you lose the will to run and get it, or as you kind of let go of it, it's like you don't really want it anymore anyway, but it still doesn't feel good to let it go. And what's supporting Sag right now? So we have the Ace of Swords and the Hierophant, but they did come out reversed. I feel like right now you're not really overthinking anything. It seems to be that whatever transition you're in, it feels like it's easier for you. And it doesn't necessarily, it doesn't feel like this is advice. It feels more like this is where you're at. Like it seems easier for you to go through the motions of what you're doing to by not thinking about anything. That rich inner world that the cards were talking about at the beginning of the reading, or is like feeling like you can't share it with anything or anyone, I feel like you may almost be feeling like you are losing that part of yourself the longer you don't share it with anybody. But it's like you may have been, I'm kind of getting that when you did share it with people, it was like either ridiculed or whatever it was, you were definitely made to feel like it was not safe to share. And I feel like you've had some, going back to those, you know, you're seeing things kind of differently. I feel like some of the realizations that you've had recently have been a bit disillusioning. And it seems to have created this feeling. It's almost like, I almost wanted to say a feeling like lonely, but it's not quite that. It's more like being alone. Even if you're around people, feeling alone. So I feel like I was just going to end it there, but we're going to, what positive message can we leave Sag with? I'm not going to leave you with that. That's crazy. What positive message can we leave Sag with? Okay. So we have the Four of Swords and the Three of Swords. So the Three of Swords usually talks about, excuse me, heartbreak. And I feel like this isn't like, you know, something that maybe it'll make you feel good, but it doesn't feel like it's like, oh, this great thing is coming. I feel like it's more a reminder that even though life may feel a little bit blasé right now, I feel like the biggest message here is remember that what you have done and what you've built and all of the work that you have put in and the people you've pulled into or pushed out of your life has put you in a position where this nonsense over here, it's not coming around. It's like, it's almost like you're living in different dimensions now. So I'll leave it there, Sag. I love you guys. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and we will see you on the next one. Much love. Bye.